Welcome to episode 2 of Agents of Travel. I'm Garrett Palm.
And I'm Rachel Van Ness.
We have a very exciting guest this week. I love her a lot. I worked with her at Smosh. It's Sarah Whittle. She's a great social media guru. She has spent a lot of time in Italy.
And she's spent a lot of time with an Italian husband.
She spent a lot of time all over the world, but Italy. She's got a lot of good tips for Italy. But I was surprised. I had no idea.
Yeah, she's a huge world traveler.
Yeah, she really is. Before we get into this episode, quick comment on the sound quality. It's my fault. We did not. There are some moments where the sound does not sound good,
but we've learned, we've grown,
and we have embraced
better mics now.
A growth mindset and better mics now.
Yeah, we're literally embracing them in our hands right now.
I know. But yeah, so apologies. There will be some weird sound artifacts here and there throughout this one. Very sorry. But on to the interview. We have music that
I like that, like between the cats and Claudio, you just can't have nice
things.
This is why I can't have nice things, and then if I ever have a kid, it's just gonna go downhill.
Oh yeah, having a kid, that will.
That's gonna ruin everything.
That's really nice of Claudio though to take the heat off of the cats by also being terrible on the furniture.
Speaking of ruining everything, we have a secret. We've got to tell. We've got to come clean to you.
To me?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
What
is it?
You may know us as Rachel and Garrett. I know we've worked together a while, and but we're secret agents.
What kind?
Yeah.
We are secret agents. Agents.
Only digital.
Sorry, I'm actually Australian. Yeah. We're secret agents for the National, Office
Travel and Tourism Office.
This sounds very real and valid. Is there a certificate program of some sort that you need to go through?
That is what we're going through now.
Oh.
We're currently going through it now. Yes. The first step is knowing what the department is called, and I am still studying up on it. So you go, Garrett.
So as secret agents, we have secret agent names as well. You can refer to us as whatever you want, but but our secret agent names are based off of our desserts we love. Mine is based off of my favorite dessert. I am secret agent sticky toffee pudding.
Okay.
And I'm secret agent pannenkoeken, which is a Dutch pancake.
Very good. It's not the breakfast pancake though, right?
You know what? It can be savory and sweet. Yeah. Would you believe it?
Sounds beautiful. Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, but I think you're thinking of a Dutch baby.
Yeah. The Dutch pancake or something.
Yeah. Those are really good.
Very eggy. If I had to join this agency, I'd definitely be egg.
Egg?
Secret agent
egg?
Yeah, I know that's not a dessert, but just egg.
It doesn't have to be a dessert.
After dinner, do you often wrap up the day on an egg?
Can you imagine if I did?
Just an egg in that sweet little dish, the egg dish.
Oh yeah, like crack it open and like just do that. What a funny quirk that would be to explain to Claudio. Every night before I go to bed, I need to have a little egg.
I need my breakfast egg at night.
Yeah. It just helps you go to sleep. It wraps up the meal. It helps you digest.
Exactly.
A good egg is good for digestion.
A good digestive.
Digestive. So as we're working our way up in the agency and we're trying to get our certification, we're interrogating people.
Oh, okay.
On their previous travels. We're pretty nice in our interrogations. It's not like the interrogations you see in movies.
But you better not fucking lie to us. Otherwise, we'll send you on a bad trip.
All right, I'm nervous. I don't know if I can answer all of these questions, but
right.
I'm also a world traveler, so this is going to be very interesting.
That's great. Well, because we believe trips are all over the world. They're also all over your neighborhood. Like they are, you can have that mindset anywhere you go.
I love it.
Like Tommy's, his big trip was to Long Beach.
You told him to go to Long Beach?
No. That was a trip that was like his big trip he told us.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
He was like, this is a totally different place. I feel transformed. Great. Amazing.
So we're going to interrogate you. We're going to have some questions. And at the end, we're going to, pitch you 2 separate trips. And you will decide which trip you get to go on. Are you ready, Sarah Whittle?
I'm so ready.
Okay.
All right. First question. What was the first trip you took that turned you on to travel? What was your travel awakening trip?
Well, I grew up as a military kid. So my dad's in the Air Force. So I moved all around the world before I even hit puberty. So I was born in Wyoming, moved to Korea, was in Korea for a little bit, then moved to North Dakota, then moved to Germany for 6 years, and then moved back to the U.S. Literally like 2 months after 9/11. So that was a really fun time to come back to the U.S. And lived in the U.S. ever since then. But I've also hopped all around the U.S. I was in Wyoming again, then I went to New York, then I went to Phoenix, then I went to Los Angeles, and now I live in Colorado. So I have always been someone that's been going all over the place all the time. But I would say what really solidified my love for travel was living in Germany, because we would like go to dinner in Luxembourg because it was 1 hour away. Or a school trip was to England because it was so close. Or in less than a month, I went to Italy twice for the first and second time. First time with my church group when I was a kid growing up in the church. So with my church group, I went. And then like 3 weeks later, I went with my family and I was like showing them around. So yeah, that's how I kind of got the travel bug. And in Europe, it's so incredibly easy. So that's like me and my family's favorite thing to do is to travel and explore and eat different foods. Discover different cultures, look at art. So I'm always someone that has to go on a trip.
I've got a question. So like I hear this about a lot of military brat.
Yes, you can say brats. That. I won't take offense.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Okay,
I hear, I'm so nervous about that. Okay. I hear from a lot of like kids who grew up with military parents that they also like they travel a lot, and that makes you very good at making friends quickly. Do you find that's true for you, that you don't really have that like high barrier to meeting new people?
Yeah. So the interesting thing is like, I mean, I think, Garrett and I have known each other since 2015, and I'm very clearly an extrovert. And I think in the military system, when growing up, I didn't know when we were going to move. And I didn't know when the kids in the school were going to move, because in Germany, we all went to school on the military base because it was taught in English. We didn't have to go to a German school. So kids would join and leave the class at any moment. So it really got to infused in my personality to hurry up and make friends with everyone and anyone, because we don't know how long each of us are going to be here for.
So do you find like really good at keeping in contact with people?
No, and that's the hard thing.
Okay, gotcha.
When I was in Germany, like the internet did not exist. And so
dating ourselves here.
Exactly. So it was pre-internet. You couldn't really keep up with the kids and stuff. So it really was like a touch and go thing. It was like, thanks for being friends with me. And I've like reconnected with some that I've just found through Instagram, but like last time we saw each other, we were like 10 years old. And so it's hard to keep in touch with people. So I actually don't have many friends that I've known, like probably past college at this point. Like I have some friends I talked to from high school, but mostly like my oldest friends are from college.
I feel like traveling does that kind of trains you to just be like, just enjoy this friendship for right now. Mm-hmm, this is a great time with this person. And, if you keep in touch, great. Probably won't.
Yep.
Probably will just like, there are some friends, and maybe you'll reconnect in 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's just, it'll be like you never left. And that's awesome.
But you guys probably know when you travel to a place and you like meet people in a bar or a cafe and then you like spend a night together all just like partying and having fun. Like that is the most low risk, like fun friends you can have. And then maybe you follow each other on Instagram. But it's just so fun to find like a group of like Americans and Europeans in a random bar. Like we did that in Venice, Italy, and we all just went bar hopping together. It was so fun.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, there's always people traveling around abroad. There's also like people like living there, like hosting like events for like people. I don't know if you've ever done couch surfing, but there used to be like a big like couch surfing community events that locals would put on to meet like people abroad.
Yeah, like meetups and stuff like that. Yeah.
Like those were always also, it was just a good time. And it's funny that like, I don't know, my experience because my mom was a military brat, so I can say brat. And she grew up like when she got older, she was like, I don't want to travel anymore. I don't want to move around anymore. I want to settle in a space for a while. That didn't quite happen, but like she that was like coming out of that, she was like, I want to like grow some roots somewhere.
I mean, that's why I left LA, and that was like a big, we did a whole podcast on the Smoshcast about it, and moving to Colorado, this is like one of the first places I don't have like a move out date. Like I've always had a move out date or a lease or some sort like that, and I don't have that now, and so it's been like I've had to create new habits because I've always been on the run, not running away from something, but just like moving all the time.
What are the habits you've had to develop, like being grounded now? Like, is it like, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think for me, it's just like creating habits because I haven't really had the opportunity to create healthy habits. So I know this sounds so boring, but like I've finally been able to like be consistent with the gym for the last couple of months because life has just been always crazy. And even living in Los Angeles, like working at Smosh, every day feels like a different type of thing. Every week is different. So between having a corporate job and like a little stable life, then I've been able to like consistently work out and maybe find a doctor I go to more than once.
Wow.
Yeah, those little things. Like my medical records are all over like the world at this point.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So just little things like that I think like people who don't move around a lot like maybe don't even like think about twice. But yeah, I've just never ever had that in my life because I kept moving even after my dad had retired from the military.
Yeah, you never retired from moving around.
That military brat life, I never retired.
Yeah, I do love the aspiration of like, I will become friends with my doctor because I will see them multiple times.
But yeah, no, that's a real, like, I've experienced that too, of just like, never always having like, I'm not here for good, and so it's just like, there's no sense in like really, you don't have that motivation to stay there and like even when the community.
Even when the dentist is like, do you want to schedule your next appointment in 6 months? Like I've never been able to be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll still be here.
I'll have that week, available.
I will be in this state. Totally. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Man, all the medical professionals you've just ghosted over the years.
Yeah.
Truly.
So Sarah, tell us a story about your best trip you've ever taken.
Yeah, I've had so many best trips.
Tell us all of the stories.
So many. I mean, for our Claudio and I's honeymoon, we went to the Maldives, which was insane because I wanted to do, on the bucket list was one of those over the water cabanas.
Yeah.
Obviously, every time I've gone to Italy with Claudio has been spectacular because I went to Italy twice before I met Claudio when I was a fourth grader with those trips. But going to like Naples, Italy, where Claudio grew up and, experiencing it from someone who grew up in that neighborhood is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I would say like one of the best moments that him and I have ever had traveling is we were on the Amalfi Coast, which is like the quintessential like Italian summer. When you see it on Instagram, that's what it is. And we were there in December, so it was freezing cold, and we just happened to go. And it was actually Claudio's very first time being to the Amalfi Coast, even though it was only like an hour and a half from where he grew up his whole life. So him and I go, and we go past Amalfi, past Sorrento, and we turn into this like tiny town called Atrani, Atrani, and it was all lit up for Christmas. Like it looked like a Hollywood Universal like set. It was like all lit up in different colors. This tiny town. I think 70 people live in this tiny town. They have like a tiny square. It's on the coast. There's like a pizzeria on like under the road. It's like this most stunning place, and we instantly fell in love. Had dinner in the little one restaurant in the square. Of course, it's like the best food you've ever had. And since then, since then it's always had like a special place in our heart because it was like this hidden gem that we'd never seen before. And apparently every year during Christmas, they spend over €1,000, which is a lot for a tiny town of 70 people, to light up this tiny little town for Christmas. It's so stunning.
That's so cute that it's like a community effort.
And
I love that. Like, I guess a side question for that, like, because I feel like that kind of speaks to how I travel and what I love about traveling is like the unplanned stuff.
Yeah.
Like I love to have stuff that I don't plan and just discover. Are you like a planner? Are you a discoverer when you travel? Like
I'm a mix of the both. So like, you know, obviously you've made all your effort to like get to a place, whether close or far. So you should try to hit up what you know, the general crowd thinks is great. But then that's when you like try to find the hidden gems, hidden restaurants, like trying to take the route less traveled so that you can find these hidden gems. Because even in Italy, like if you go to the place that is like right off the street and all the tourists go there, the prices are going to be higher and the quality may not be as good. Whereas if you take a 5-minute stroll and try to find, you know, the nonna in the kitchen, the grandma in the kitchen making the stuff, like you will find the best food ever. Like why wouldn't you go to another country and have like grandma's best food? Like that's amazing.
No, I agree. Like you could always go, you know, it's just 15 minutes away. You know, you don't even have to go like an hour in. Just 15 minutes away, you'll find stuff.
I did want to ask if you've heard of the Pasta Grannies YouTube channel.
No, I've never heard. Oh wait, is it the ones that like BuzzFeed used to spend a lot of time with?
Maybe. It's BBC. It's like a BBC thing, but you can find them on YouTube, and it's just like a bunch of Italian grannies who live together and make pasta together.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
Yeah, so if you're ever feeling like you're missing it, check out those Pasta Grannies.
Amazing.
Yes. But yeah, it's like they become gems just because you stumbled upon it. Like
exactly.
They don't even necessarily need to be like this amazing restaurant that's going to blow your mind. It's just because you stumbled upon it, because it's like a local's place.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I feel like nothing. I'm trying to think, like, I feel like all my favorite travel memories are the ones that happened randomly. And it's like planning enough so that you can set up those random moments to happen. But I can't remember a time where I was like, you know, I went to New York and the Statue of Liberty was my favorite part.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I feel like whenever you travel, it's like it should be a good mix of like those planned, like you got to do the touristy things. Though, like I would not argue that the Statue of Liberty is absolutely necessary when you go to New York. But it's like, you set yourself up for success, but also like give yourself those opportunities to like explore, because you know, especially on the Amalfi Coast, everything's so by foot that you can discover so many cool things. And
Yes.
And the cool thing is Atrani, that tiny town, like we make a point to go every time just because it's such a nice core memory for us, and we create even more core memories. Like we went a month before our wedding because his brother was getting married, so that gave us an opportunity to look at our wedding venue for the first time in Sorrento. And then we went to go get dinner in Atrani, like 10 minutes away, and they were having some kind of like festival in the middle of the square. It was full of people, full of a live band, and I think they were carrying like a statue of Mary through the town for some religious thing or celebration or whatever. And all of a sudden we were just like in the middle of the square eating the best food ever, watching this festival happen that we had like no clue was gonna happen. We just wanted to go back to Atrani again.
The local festivals are always just the best because they're not like overproduced, and they're just like fun. Everybody's out. Also, I wish I was married to a charming Italian man.
Sorry.
I really put it into the universe because I always like, after I went to Italy when I was like in the 4th grade, me and my mom would always talk about like, we gotta live in Italy. One day we're gonna live in Italy. We're so happy in Italy. And then I happened to marry an Italian man, and now it's closer, that it's closer to reality than ever before.
I know. I wonder, were you sort of like, when you were dating, were you like, I need to date an international person because you've traveled so much? Or you're like, how did you and Claudio meet?
Oh, we met through like a mutual friend's birthday party at a bar, and I was in my having a lot of fun era in LA, and so he was just a cute boy. And then like I introduced myself because he was talking to an Italian gal I knew, and I was like, "Hi, I'm Sarah," and he's like, "Hello, I am Claudio." And in less than 2 minutes, we were making out. So that's all I thought it was gonna be, and it ended up being so much more. So I really won the lottery here.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, Sarah, you've been talking about a lot of this food, and we haven't been getting a lot of specifics. So I want to dig in on what's the tastiest thing you've ever eaten on a trip.
Claudio's gonna laugh that I'm gonna talk about this so much, but my favorite food ever was this tomato pasta dish in a Greek restaurant in Germany. So yeah, it was this, it doesn't exist anymore, but it was this restaurant called Hellas, and it was a Greek restaurant right off of the Air Force Base where I grew up in Germany, and we became regulars there. And our favorite thing to do after we spent all day at the swimming pool, because in Germany, they have great theme parks and they have great like swimming places and spas and stuff. So we would go get exhausted from swimming all day and order a huge bowl of pasta and then French fries.
Yes.
Park City.
Yeah, and just load up. And it's the best tomato-based pasta I've ever had in my entire life. Me and my family still dream about it all the time. And the first time I told Claudio that, he was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" And I verified it with my mom. My mom fully agrees with it too.
Was the pasta homemade? Like, did they make it there, or was it like...
Yeah, they made the pasta sauce there. I don't know if they made the pasta there, but the pasta sauce, like, I don't know how to describe it, but like in Europe, some tomato sauces, I think they add some sort of cream to it. I don't think it's authentic Italian. I don't know what it is, but it's just like this tomato sauce, and whatever they put in there, it just has this like wonderful tomato taste. And it's not just straight tomato. Maybe they put a cream in it, but it's just like, it just every time I have something similar to it, like a tomato soup or a tomato sauce, my brain just immediately goes back to that restaurant.
Oh wow.
Man.
Yeah.
Rachel's heard me talk a lot about this podcast, but I've been listening to the Dave Chang podcast a lot, and he said something similar. Like his favorite food right now is Sichuan food cooked at a Cantonese restaurant.
Great. Yep.
You know, like people doing it their way, and it's just like, it's unique. It's totally different. It's not at all quote unquote authentic, whatever that is. It's just like really good.
Yeah, and a lot of Asian foods come from like a mix of cultures. Like some of my favorite foods, because I'm half Korean, and so my grandma would cook a lot of Korean food. One of my favorite dishes is a Chinese Korean noodle dish with black bean paste, and it's kind of a fast food. It's called jjajangmyeon, and it's kind of a fast food thing that I think Chinese immigrants or Korean immigrants kind of stole some items, some ingredients, some techniques to make this kind of hybrid Korean Chinese dish.
Yeah.
Gives you more of an appreciation too for American Chinese food and Tex-Mex.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're valid.
Do you so when you travel, are you looking like, is food top on your list, or is it
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
especially in Italy.
Yes.
But the great thing about Italy is like the worst food is better than some of the best food over here. So sandwiches at little random grocery stores, pasta from a hole in the wall. I've had the best pizza in my life for €9, which is about $10, and the locals there say that's ridiculously priced because normally pizza in Naples is about €3. So food is like a must for every travel occasion.
Yes.
I've also heard in Italy that like this is the part that excites me. It's like it almost reminds me of like a high tea, and that dishes just keep coming out, but that like dinners can be like 3 hours long, and it's just like course after course after course after course.
The first time we ever went to Italy, like when I brought my family there during my second trip in less than a month when I was a kid, my mom got hungry at like 5 p.m. and I remember my dad being like, no, you have to like, we're eating at 8 p.m. Everywhere is closed. Because they start dinner around 7 or 8 and they end around 10 or 11. And for our wedding that we had on the Amalfi Coast in a castle, we actually cut some courses because weddings are literally like 3-4 hours of sitting and eating, and they don't really do like a reception afterwards. And I was like, no, that's too long sitting. It's like a little extra. It's too much, I think.
Yeah.
Sounds like a perfect wedding to me.
I know. Well, just mix it up. Like get some standing in there. Like we had a friend come on and he talked about a wedding he went to somewhere in South America where Argentina. It was like between courses, people were dancing.
Oh, that's
cute.
They'd
go back to eat and then dance and then eat and dance.
It was like
the
6
Italians.
hours of this.
Yes.
Yeah, the Italians, they just buckle down. I'd say the biggest difference also between Italians and Koreans, like you guys, know Korean barbecue where there's like a billion dishes all over the table, and a lot of Asian cuisine is a lot of like choose your own adventure. So it's very customizable where you put a little bit of kimchi, a little bit of sauce, Italians, they're like the opposite. They keep everything separate. So it's like the first course has its particular dishes and the second course has its particular dishes, and like that's it. That's it. There's no mixing or mingling. And my half Korean side's like, I want to go back and forth and have all these different flavors all the time.
Yeah, because they talk about like this is the way to digest, right? Like you eat a salad at this point, and you have carbs at this point, and then you finish off with this drink at this, like coffee or something. Like everything is for the degustation or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But Koreans are like, we'll just have it all at the same time.
It'll work itself out.
Exactly.
Yeah. God, I haven't been to Italy in like over 20 years, and I want to go and just eat now. I just want to go and eat.
Do
and
it.
Walk.
Do it.
Yeah. Like when we travel, we walk everywhere so that we can then eat. Like, do you walk a lot when you travel?
Yeah. I do a lot of walking, do a lot of wandering around. I think it also depends on what the goal of your trip is, right? Because some goals of trips are to go sightseeing and explore the culture, and then some are just to like relax and fart around. So, that's like when we go to Mexico and do an all-inclusive, like that's more of like a relaxing thing. We still try to, experience the culture, but overall, I think it's like a waste if you spend all day in the hotel, no matter what kind of trip you're on.
Agreed.
Just do a staycation.
Yes.
Yeah, which is also like valid to do a staycation. I feel like more people should. Like we put a lot of shame on like, oh, you're going to take a week off and just chill at your house. What a waste. But it's like, I feel like we should normalize any type of rest.
That was my actual New Year's goal for this year, was to take more days off to do like self-care or nothing, or go to the thrift store or clean the house, because I got into the habit post-pandemic that if I took time off, I had to go somewhere or do something exciting. And so I've done pretty good this year of at least doing one day a month where I can self-care.
Do you like it? Like, do you look forward to that day? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because I'm like, I can get shit done and I don't have to worry about anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of like the different reasons to go to places, have you been to a place where the tourist attraction really lived up to the hype? Like what attraction that was like potentially overhyped actually lived up to it?
What was this Statue of Liberty was actually really
lit.
cool.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to keep saying Italy.
Because
I'm thinking of like the Eiffel Tower. I've been to the Eiffel Tower. It wasn't much. I'm thinking of Korea. Korea was beautiful and it was really cool to be in there, but we didn't really like find one place. I'm trying to think, like England. England was really fun. But Italy, I think, is like, I cannot like stress it enough. That is like everyone must go. Because I think once you go, you realize how crazy traveling is, because it's such a different planet. And so I think like the Amalfi Coast, it looks like an Instagrammable place. It looks like it is what it is. And it's spectacular to see in real life. Like it feels like VR, and it is very touristy, but in 5-10 minutes you can be out of the touristy areas and really, really be like a local there and just like wander around and explore. And because there's so many like little alleys or little towns or whatever, you can discover so many different things.
Dude, are you being paid by the Amalfi Coast?
No, but I wish, man. I wish. We've even looked at houses and they're so expensive. They're like millions of dollars but for like a tiny place, because it's all historical and not a lot of room out there.
Damn. Oh man, now I gotta go.
I know.
Okay, so I feel like we keep saying "speaking of," and I know. I'm gonna honor that.
We gotta learn more transitions.
Speaking of coast, when was the time? What was your biggest fish out of water moment? Fun wordplay, I will say.
Yeah, right. I have two. One is like basically because of my military brattiness. The first time I came back to the U.S. So when we moved to the U.S. in 2001, we hadn't been in the U.S. for like 6 years. And at that point I was like 13, 14. So like when I started making memories was in Germany. And so when we came back to the U.S., stuff is so different here than Europe. And so we went to a buffet. We went to like country buffet for the first time. And they were like, it's a bottomless sodas. Because in Germany, you get one soda. Like in most European places, you get, when you order a soda, they give you like a bottle or one can, and that's it. So we've been used to like kind of like rationing off our drink. And we went to a buffet and they're like, not only can you grab a new plate whenever you want to and fill it up with as much as you want, unlimited soda. And like, I just remember me and my brother looking at each other like 14, 12 years old being like, what is this place? There are no rules here. So that was one fish out of water moment.
Yeah.
Another one was when I was visiting Korea in 2018 with my best friend Kiana. Her and I decided to like go out one night into Hongdae, which is the kind of college area of Seoul, Korea. And we were like, let's go out. Let's try to have like a night out later. Let's go see what's out there. So we went to some bars or whatever, and it comes to be like midnight, 1 a.m., and we're like, we're going to take the train home. Well, all of a sudden, the train stopped and just dumped us out somewhere. And we didn't know where we were. Our phones were dying. It was so late, like nothing was really open other than a McDonald's. We started going to like 7-Eleven and McDonald's to try and like ask people to, in my broken Korean, my first language was Korean, but I lost a lot of that when I was thrown into, an English speaking school. So I was trying to use my budget Koreanglish to try and get like a phone charger or something. No one was helping us out. Eventually we flagged down a random taxi that was driving around at like 2-3 a.m. and we finally got home. But that really fucking sucked.
That's so stressful because one, it's like, I don't know what the weather was like at the time. Was it like
it was cold. It was
or
like
it's
February.
cold?
It was like
Shit.
February at 2 a.m. Like it was.
You can't just be chilling outside the rest of the night.
Exactly. And we had no clue where we were.
Yeah. And for me, whenever my sleep gets threatened, like whenever I'm threatened with the idea of like, you may not sleep tonight, I'm like, I guess I'll just die then.
Yeah, right.
But how do you look back on that experience? Like, obviously, in the moment, it sucked. It was awful. Looking back, how do you feel about that?
I think I just feel frustration because I'm like, none of the Koreans we ran into were even like throwing us a bone. And I was like speaking Korean, like not great Korean, but like asking for help or asking for a phone or asking to call a taxi for us. And everyone we met was really not helpful. And that's not like a across the board Korean thing, because the Koreans were so nice to us, and they were actually, the Korean ladies were yelling at me that I didn't know better Korean. So like everyone was very nice. It was just that I don't know. It was, I don't know.
You
if
just
like
went to
town. The vibes were off. Like we got cursed. And so it's just like, I just remember feeling frustrated, and my friend, she doesn't know any Korean, and I was definitely the planner of the trip. She felt awful too the whole time.
It was all the graveyard shift workers, the people that like don't want to be in normal society during the daytime. So,
yeah.
All the lizards were out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that I say that as if lizards are nocturnal.
Lizard people.
Yeah. So Sarah, if you could step into any moment from your travels anytime you wished, which quintessential perfect moment would you pick? And you can't pick being lost in the grumpy Korean village.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So if I could go back into time of any memory I had, like what would I pick?
Yeah, to just
if you
any
could go
moment
live there,
you just drop into it for a stretch, and then you can come back to your daily life.
Yeah, I mean, I always like if I could have a superpower, I would totally do teleportation, because I'd be like in Italy for lunch and then Korea for dinner, and then back home. Like that would be amazing. But I think I would choose to go back to any time I traveled with my family around Europe, because that was like the happiest we ever were. Like we didn't have a lot of money because, my dad was in the military. My mom worked at like the grocery store on base, but travel was so accessible and easy in Europe. And so, I loved going to the Netherlands and seeing all the colorful tulips. I loved, traveling with my mom came on the England trip with me for the school trip. So I would choose any time that we got to like explore as a family, because we always had like so much fun doing it.
Do you guys ever do trips as a family now?
So the last trip we did like as a huge family was for our wedding in 2018. And that was actually the first time his family and my family met. And so after the wedding, we had the wedding on the Amalfi Coast, and then we basically spent 3 weeks going all around Italy, going to Venice, going to Rome, and going to Tuscany. And so it was really, really fun. But it was really stressful. I had a breakdown in Venice, and Claudio and I hadn't been alone like for 3 weeks after our wedding, and it was like so difficult. So I don't know if it's like worth getting the family back together for that, but his parents are going to come visit Wyoming and Colorado for the first time this summer.
That's cool.
So that'll be
cute.
Hilarious to see Claudio's parents in like cowboy country.
You're gonna take them to the country buffet.
I was gonna
and impress
give them
them
unlimited soda.
Yeah,
they're gonna be like, "What the fuck is this shit food?"
Yeah, like do they? Because Rachel has family in the Netherlands that comes out to visit sometimes, and one of the things they're always like, it's like, this is too much meat. Like you're giving us too much meat. Like we like meat, but like, you know.
That's true.
My Dutch cousins came out, and my dad's family they're from the Netherlands, but they immigrated after World War II, and they're all like farmers and dairymen now. And so they're like, oh, the cousins are coming, get 3 tri-tips. This is going to be like a huge feast. And each of the cousins just had like 1 or 2 slices of tri-tip, as my dad can eat like half of a tri-tip by himself.
Yeah.
And so it was super awkward. And it was like actually an interesting moment where it's like, you could just see how Americanized one side of the family became compared to like what they came from.
Yeah, I mean, overall, like, Americans rely a lot of their diet on meat, especially in the middle of the country, because you don't get a lot of good seafood in Colorado and Wyoming. So, but I think overall our portions are like way bigger too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I think there's this weird thing in America where everybody thinks they're not getting enough protein. Like I think everybody thinks they need way more protein than they actually need, and it's like for one of the most sedentary countries, like the obsession with protein is absolutely out of control.
It could, I don't want to blame the government, but it's probably the government, because even the Got Milk campaigns from back in the day were a way to like keep farmers from going out of business. It wasn't actually like for health reasons.
No.
So,
totally. My dad still drinks a glass of milk every day for lunch. And it's so sad because you can tell he thinks that what he's eating is actually healthy. Like he'll do a PBJ, a fruit cup, a Yoplait, trail mix from Costco, and a glass of milk. And it's like, it's so much sugar. All of the
a lot
fruits,
of process.
like, fake. Yeah. But he's like, this is like I'm a healthy man.
In Claudio's neighborhood in Naples, they have a market that opens up every morning, and then around like noon, 1, they all disappear, and like the fish, the fruit, like everything is locally sourced. Like the fish, Claudio will walk by and he'll be like, that fish was alive this morning. And like that's the kind of food that they're doing, and you can tell because it's like even the tomatoes in Italy, they taste like fruit. They taste delicious. And if you grow your own tomatoes, that's more similar to what the taste is in Italy than whatever the fuck we get at the grocery store.
The mealy, like bland.
Just like tomatoes here, did this taste horrible?
No,
and milk too.
Yeah. I want that so badly. I want to have like little corner markets. Like even in New York, I had it like where I could go down to the bodega and there was like usually a bunch of veggies out there and fruit and like. But like LA and most of the rest of America doesn't have that. I have to like get in my car, drive to the Vons and, like, or just like buy everything for the week. And like everything, like by the end of the week when I cook, like
gets
a lot of it is like, kind of like wilted or slimy. And I'm like, I want to just be able to just, on my walk home.
Yes. How gorgeous. Yep.
Yeah.
Farmers markets every day.
I know.
Can you imagine?
So easy.
Yeah.
Garrett, moving on to the next question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Sarah, is there a local custom you've observed while traveling that you have or wish you had implemented into your daily life? So like for us for a bit, we've talked about this a lot on this podcast. So regular listeners know that we enjoy an afternoon coffee and cake that we learned in Germany. We don't do this regularly, but it is like a night. It's been a while since we've done it, but
when we do it though, it's really exciting.
Oh, it's so exciting. But like a coffee and kuchen, it's like
I know
tradition we enjoyed.
A local custom.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, like, what have I... No, but I think something that is really, really cool that Italians do, and it just sounds like I only traveled to Italy. I've traveled to so many places, but a really cool thing is, like, the coffee culture. You guys know the coffee culture in Italy. But something that they do is they actually, for every cup of espresso, they give a cup of frizzante water, which is sparkling water. And the sparkling in Italy that they give you has tinier bubbles. I don't know how other to explain it. Like, it's not as bubbly as like a Diet Coke or even some sparkling water is here. It's more frizzante, like it's more just fizzy. And so the reason they do that is because it kind of cuts the coffee breath.
Yeah.
Something with the sparkling and stuff like that. So I've always enjoyed having coffee and then that little like fizzy water
Yeah.
next to it. I think that's a really fun tradition that they have.
I love that too. Like I love it when a coffee shop will do that. Like there occasionally in America or like elsewhere, like I've had espresso. I order espresso and they give me a little fizzy water with it.
Mhm.
The first time I saw it, I was like, there was a little stand up Italian espresso bar in Midtown in Manhattan that I used to go to on like a work break. And it was like all Italians in there somehow in Midtown
That means it's
Manhattan.
good.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it was like just like fizzy water with espresso, no seats, everybody's standing at counters. And you get a little biscotti. And
then something else I thought of that I always incorporate that I didn't know I was doing my entire life with the French fries and the spaghetti was something called scarpetta, which also means shoe. And scarpetta is when you get a piece of bread and you are scraping up the sauce from your pasta.
Oh, yeah.
So in Italy, it's actually labeled a thing, scarpetta.
Oh.
The Italians would have a word
Exactly.
for that.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why
And one time-
shoe?
I don't know. Claudio,
It's like
why shoe? I don't know. He goes, I don't know.
Okay, what were you going to say?
Oh, it does feel sort of like dragging your feet. Like when you scrape your shoes against like the rug to get the mud off.
Oh,
Maybe
maybe.
it's like putting the mud on.
That's cute. I like that.
That's my theory. Okay, Sarah, are you ready for the lightning round?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're going to
great.
give you a series of either or
Oh,
questions.
okay.
And just first off the top of your head, give me your response.
Love it. I'm ready.
Okay, great. I'll go first. Beach or mountains?
We'll say mountains.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Hot or cold?
Cold.
City or country?
City.
Beer or wine?
Beer.
History or scene?
Scene.
Clubs or cafes?
Cafe.
Early bird or night owl?
Mid-afternoon. No.
Mid-afternoon turn.
We'll go early.
Okay.
Great. Fancy or casual?
Fancy.
Ooh.
Fast or slow?
Slow.
Dogs or cats or cows or monkeys?
Oh, shit. That's hard. Let's do monkeys.
Ooh.
Okay.
And then
great.
I have one other question before I make my thing. Do you like to hike?
Well, I guess I said mountain, so yeah, I guess so.
You don't have to claim that if that's not true to you.
Not like a long hike.
Sure, okay. I love just looking at mountains too. I love being in the mountains. I don't have to hike the mountains. I do love hiking the mountains.
Like Switzerland is stunning.
Oh yeah.
Mountains can be a vibe and not an activity.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
We are going to tabulate these results
Mm-hmm.
and each come up with our dream trip for you.
Okay.
I think I'm actually thinking I might be close enough to ready. We might not need a break, Rachel, if you want me to go first. Unless, Sarah, do you want to take a break or anything?
No, I'm good. I can also tell you guys places I've been if you want to use that as like some elimination. Okay, great.
No, we are too deep into our ideas now. Don't ruin.
I know. I'm gonna be so sad if you've been here already.
I know. I'm gonna be so sad if you've been here already. Okay. This is a lot of this is going to be off my memory and top of my head.
Great.
But Sarah,
Mm-hmm.
I want to send you to Turkey.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to focus most of your trip on southern Turkey, but there will, of course, be Istanbul because Istanbul, you can't miss Istanbul.
I've been there.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yes.
So you've seen the Blue Mosque.
It actually was for a long layover. So we did like a cruise. We did like a little dinner cruise, and then we had to leave the next day.
Up the Bosphorus?
You know,
The big
could
river
be.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well then, now this will be your chance to spend 2 days at the start, kind of exploring Istanbul, exploring the markets, the Grand Mosque, the Blue Mosque, seeing the Eyüp Mosque, which is the fourth most holy location in Islam. And it's less touristy, just a bit more chill of a vibe. Everybody there is just like there in worship, and it's a very cool scene. And then from there, I'm going to take you down to the south. So we're going to probably start off in Fethiye. Well, actually, on the way, we're going to stop in Cappadocia.
Okay.
Have you seen images of this place? It's
I am Googling all these things as you say them.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, stunning. Love it.
Right?
The mountains I see.
These pillars, they're just amazing rock formations. Honestly, they look like giant penises, or like mushrooms.
Bonus points.
I'll let you wander around for a bit. People live in some of these.
Oh.
They like hollowed them out, and there's houses in there.
That's so cool.
When I was there, I had a dog kind of guide me. He kind of found me and guided me around.
Oh, I love it.
And then, so I'm going to get that same guide for you.
Mm-hmm.
He's a golden retriever.
Perfect.
And then in the evening at sunset, you'll get to do a hot air balloon.
I see the photo on the Wikipedia.
That is
perfect.
The classic.
Have you ever been on a hot air balloon?
No. Have you?
It seems scary.
I know. Okay, it's up to you. You have the option to take this hot air balloon.
I hear you.
Then we'll go down to the south. You'll get the chance to do 2 days on the Lycian Way. It's a old Roman road, Lycian, and it's a hike. I'll have your bags dropped off at the villages, so you don't have to bring anything. But the great thing about the hike is you hike. You're hiking along the coast. You're hiking along the Mediterranean. Beautiful. And so you've got beaches and mountains.
Oh, this Butterfly Valley.
Yes.
Beautiful.
It is incredible scenery the whole way. And it's an ancient Greek road, actually, I think is what it is. And you're going from like you start at the beach, you go up into like alpine environments and like villages. Everybody's super friendly. You'll get to eat food like gözleme, which is Turkish crepe. You'll get yummy. Meze platters, kebabs. Also, you'll get borek, which is one of my. Have you had borek?
No.
Oh, it's so good. It's a savory like phyllo dough with cheese or ground beef or potatoes in it. Very delicious. The water of the ocean that you'll see the Mediterranean from many different viewpoints. It's so blue down there. The blue. You'll get both time to relax on the beach and kind of like explore some towns like Kos, Antalya, and Fethiye. Some of it is a little overrun with the Brits at points.
Damn those Brits.
It's actually kind of a weird culture clash. Like you walk into a town and it is a British town.
Wow.
On the beach. So that's kind of interesting. It's kind of fun in that way where it's just like suddenly you're in Little Britain.
This is a very good suggestion overall. It feels very like Amalfi Coast adjacent.
Yes.
But then with different enough and cute enough and historic enough that you're getting a different flavor. So very good.
There's a lot of great historical sites along the way, like archaeological sites from like one of the oldest, the oldest site is like a little further from there, but it's like the oldest site in like known to man.
In the world.
The world. I'm blanking on the name. Göbekli Tepe. Göbekli Tepe, something like that. It's cool, but it's a bit of a trek, and it's near the border with Syria. So it's I'm not sending you there, but it's an option if you want to go there.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's really like one of the things that I like about the hike part, is the food tastes so much better. I mean, the food is already good.
But your taste buds are just so much better when you're like in a calorie deficit. I hear you.
Exactly. And you sit down, you have you just are eating baklava and like hummus and
amazing.
Yeah, dolmas.
I love Mediterranean food.
It's so good. And like the Turkish is like that kind of like blend of like you get the Greek and the Arabic kind of like crossover there. Yeah, I think that's my
Bravo.
and I'm gonna set you up in some like Turkish bathhouses.
Oh, of course.
You start you start and end each day in a Turkish bathhouse.
Are Turkish bathhouses fully nude, or is it like a robe situation? Or depends on where you are?
Depends on where you are and the side,
No, but I'm down. I love a good
cool.
spa. I love a good Korean spa.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Thank you. All right. Rachel, are you ready?
Yes.
See you taking some notes there.
I saw she was thinking. She was really researching here.
Because I'm choosing a place I haven't been before.
Ooh.
So it's on our list. It's like our next trip, I think.
Amazing.
And so this is also good planning for us. Yes.
So, Sarah, you've been to Europe. Mm-hmm. You've been to Asia. Mm-hmm. But have you ever been to South America?
No.
Great. I don't think enough people have. I'm a huge advocate for South American travels, and the place I really want to send you to is Colombia.
Oh.
So, Colombia, everybody's sleeping on it. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like okay, but here are the things about Colombia I think are really exciting and that you might enjoy. So first, I would love to send you we'll start off in Bogota, which is very cool. It's got a lot of like brilliantly like painted houses, like bright yellows, bright blues, and all of these like awesome winding streets. So it's great for walking and exploring. And it also has a lot of great museums to check out, a lot of great art. So for the part of you that likes kind of like seeing art and culture, this is a great place to go. Then I would love to send you to, I might mispronounce it, but Medellin, which is this beautiful city that has a yearly flower festival. And also, I would love for you to stay just outside of it in these very cool bubble hotels that they have in the mountains. So you would be staying in this Medellin,
yes.
Medellin. That sounds more correct. Medellin. Where they have these like awesome bubble hotels with huge expansive views of Colombia's mountains, and you can like really see the stars. And Colombia has a lot of awesome cuisine. They have my favorite type of Latin American breakfast, which is called bandeja. Bandeja. I wrote it down in a way I can not read. I think it's bandeja paisa.
Okay.
Paisa, which is basically like when you get like a little bit of black beans, a little bit of egg, a little bit of sausage, a little bit of cheese. It's that like great breakfast platter, and it can appeal to your Korean side of like wanting to put everything together.
It's like an English breakfast, but down south.
Yes. And there's also just so much great, like amazing fruit. And they have arepas and sticky coconut rice there. So there's a lot of great stuff to eat. Also, so after that, I would also have you go to Cartagena, which has a bunch of like winding streets, churches, and it's on the Caribbean coast.
Okay.
And then I would also have you go, there are a bunch of places I wrote down. Zona Cafetera. So Colombia is the third largest coffee producer in the world. So you would get to check out their coffee region, drink a ton of excellent coffee, and then go to Leticia, which is where Peru borders Brazil. And this is where you would be exploring the Amazonian forest, the Amazon forest, which is like the lung of the world. And there you could see monkeys and electric eels and sloths. So you would get to see so much cool and amazing wildlife. Then for a little bit of your like history side or feeling how ancient Colombia actually is as a country, you could go and visit the Ciudad Perdida, which is literally the lost city. So it's an ancient archaeological site. And then you could also go and visit the Salt Cathedral, which is this cathedral in a salt mine. And it's one of the most unique underground religious.
Whoa!
It's really cool looking.
And it's lit just like a Trani. Wow, you guys are doing so good.
So this trip isn't as linear. It's not quite linearly planned out, but yes, my trip would be visiting Colombia, going to the flower festival, seeing the Caribbean, the Amazon, the mountains, the beaches, the monkeys, the coffee plant, the coffee like setups, just all of that cool, amazing stuff, and dipping your toe into like all of the amazing things that Latin America and Colombia have to offer.
Stunning.
That's my trip.
Stunning. Amazing work.
We tried.
Amazing work. So is at this point, do I decide which trip do I want to take?
Yeah, go ahead. You can talk it through if you want.
Yeah, I'm very impressed by both of these pitches, both of these ideas. I think you guys hit a lot, and I can see where you incorporated my lightning round answers and also what we've been talking about and what I enjoy out of my travel. It's a hard decision, but I think because I haven't been there and I'm really excited about that breakfast in the Bubble Hotel, I'm going to go with Rachel's suggestion.
Yeah.
But Garrett, you did great too. It's like it has
you.
Amalfi Coast vibes with a little more, Turkish flair. It was very, very good. But
thank you.
I think because of how different and unique and how many different areas Rachel had hit, that took it over the edge.
Yeah, no, I agree. Rachel's was the better trip, and
big of you. I'll be honest, like researching it, I found myself being shocked. I think I always think of Colombia as being like kind of a smaller country in my head, but I'm like, oh, it's got the Caribbean, Amazon rainforest, like it's really got a lot going on.
Medellin is the city of eternal spring. Like, I really want to go. Yeah.
That's so nice.
I know. I feel like, because I heard that this year, Italy and Japan are going to be the two most traveled to destinations. And they're, for all the reasons Sarah mentioned, incredible places to go visit. But I always just find myself shocked that South America has so much cool stuff.
Yeah, it does.
I'm like, why aren't we going there more?
And their history is just so rich too. I think that's the thing that, like, if you grew up in America, you don't get a lot of deep history, a lot of long history, a lot of native history. So going to other countries that are thousands of years old, that preserve thousands of years of history, is like, it's something really mind-boggling. And it was a big difference when I moved from Europe to America that I did notice.
Yeah, I feel that too, especially being in California and not even on the East Coast where there's even a little more of a semblance of history. But I also feel like me stepping onto my soapbox for Latin American countries is like, we tend to talk about like European history, like it's the most ancient or interesting or viable or whatever. And I'm like, there's so many cool ruins and ancient things to check out in Latin America that I think a lot of people sort of forget about, but it really is like it's some of my favorite stuff because it's like we don't even know how they were able to do these feats. Like we still can't figure it out. So there's like a degree of magic to those places, I feel.
Exactly. Like even we just went to Mexico and we saw like kind of like a cultural show there, and I like cried during it because just the traditions that they do, even the old traditions that they used to do for, you know, trying to make the land fertile to the gods, and like the upside down, like the men were upside down, like swinging around a pole that was like 50 feet in the air. They actually did that. They actually did like hip soccer that the Mayans used to play to try and get in the hoop. And it's like, it's truly incredible when you're looking at history that's thousands of years old, and they've preserved it. It's so rich. I just love it. And yeah, I cried during that show.
I know. It sounds like it was really cool.
It was so cool. Yeah, this was
in Mexico City, or
no, it was in Playa del Carmen, and it's this kind of this company called Xcaret, so it's like Xcaret, and they really try to honor the local culture, the native culture, and also nature. So even some of their resorts are built around trees. In the middle of a road will be a tree because they won't take it down. In the middle of a balcony will be a tree. And then they also have art from local artists. All the uniforms are, you know, embroidered by locals, and you know, because art is such a rich part of Mexican culture. So it's really a resort and a group that tries to preserve it and not kind of whitewash it or corporate, you know, staying at the Hilton in Mexico or whatever. So
how do you spell that company?
Xcaret.
That's really cool, though, because it is like a way to do resort traveling, but still feel like you're experiencing the culture rather than just like being somewhere with a different climate and ignoring the place you are.
Exactly. So Claudio and I love the resort and have already gone twice, and we're going to go again next year. But they really, really focus on being local and being authentic, and it's really nice.
That's cool. That's a great rec.
Yeah, it's very good. I highly recommend it. They do it all fun, inclusive. So it also it also includes like not only all the things that come with all inclusive, but they have like 5 theme parks. Theme parks is very loose. They're like adventure parks that cool. Some you can see ruins, you can see animals. There are real life wild animals running around. They have museums, and they have experiences, and a natural water park. Like, it's incredible.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. So anytime I post about Mexico, most likely we're there.
I love like we do dip into like a resort when we travel, like in the middle of a trip.
Yeah.
Like
a little break.
Yeah. In Ethiopia we did that. We like dipped into like a resort, like kind of like place, and like especially when they're like that, where they're like really like embracing the local culture. And it's just, I don't know, it's a nice break from a lot of like
when you have to, some trips when you have to plan every single thing, it's like it can get exhausting and overwhelming. So I think mixing in a good trip where you're like planning everything yourself, and then also like something you can take a little backseat on, kind of helps you get the fun, but also get that relaxing part.
And I think it's also like having like a nice stay in the middle is like, I think like sometimes something I've been thinking about lately is like sometimes we can approach traveling with a grind set like mindset where it's like I have to see as many things as possible and experience as much as possible, and we're like always walking and like kind of like burning ourselves out. So like having the resort and permission to be like, you can be in another country and also like relax for a second.
Yep, exactly.
Is like has been really helpful. Yeah.
And then like, I don't know, it's like I've never been to South America, and because I've always wanted to like get as far away as possible. You know, and I was always like, well, you know, like South America, I do see like, you know, a lot of Mexican influences in America, but like I don't actually. Like I'm like you know, a white boy from the suburbs who like grew up understanding one kind of Mexican food, Mexican food is so diverse. It's like one of the great culinary countries in the world. And like, we have no idea. I had no idea. I'm sure there are plenty of people in America that have ideas of this, but growing up, I had no idea.
Well,
And
I know we all love food. Like we're definitely a group of foodies that love to eat. And I think like traveling, the easiest way to connect to different cultures and be able to like expand your mind and get that culture is try different foods. Like try the different foods and try the different iterations. And I think like, you know, it is true about like, you know, home is where the heart is, and you put your heart and soul into the food. And like, I think that's what me and my family like the most, is to experience different foods and try different things so that you get a piece of it immediately, and it's like a full sensory experience rather than just looking at something.
Yeah. And I think also part of it is like, I think sometimes we tend to view like lumping Mexico in with the rest of like Central and South America, where it's like kind of treating like Latin cultures like they're a monoculture, where like they really each region is like its own separate unique thing. And I think it's just because we maybe as like Americans have a bias towards like,
well, it's sometimes
you don't even between France and Germany rather than the difference between like Paraguay and Brazil, you know, like
but it makes sense because it's like, you know, across the US every place has its kind of like food specialty, right? So like why wouldn't other countries also have that? So something with Italy is like, whenever people tell me where they go to Italy, you know, Claudio and I talk about what they should be eating, because each city specializes in different types of foods. Like Naples, that's where pizza was born. So have pizza. On the Amalfi Coast, best lemons in the world. You have to have lemons. In Tuscany, they're more of a meat place, so you get some steak. In Rome, you get cacio and pepe and amatriciana, which is born there in Rome. And then Venice, you can get basically like little tapas things. I forget what they're called, but they specialize in more like little bites and stuff like that. So even from city to city, you can kind of find their specialties, and that's like always so fun to have it where it was.
I really want to go. Was it Umbria, where pesto is from? Is it
oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah,
I think it's somewhere like around like the north east, maybe. I might be. I'm not an expert at all, but like I was reading somewhere around there, pesto. And I want to go to the pesto
so good.
town.
Italian pesto is probably so good.
I know. God. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for letting us interrogate you.
Yes.
We will try to get you that trip when we finally get funding.
Yeah, totally.
You'll see something in the mail.
Our first goal once we get funding is to take care of the backlog of trips that we have to.
Totally. Yep. I'll be sure to keep reminding you guys of
Okay, good.
I owe you that you guys owe me.
Yes.
And we're gonna make you our Italy specialist.
Yes.
So,
you can.
We will be sourcing you for Italy Rex for your
100%. You should totally.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This was so fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you had fun.
And that was Sarah Whittle. Wow, I'm struggling this season.
Yeah, are you feeling okay?
Well, no, but I don't know what's going on. I just can't I can't pitch trips.
You're just not hearing the desire behind the words, you know?
Yeah.
You got to hear between the lines.
I know.
Although this was really fun because this my pitch on Colombia made us really excited to actually go to Colombia, which is cool.
Going to be our next trip because of this episode.
Yeah, so maybe aspire to have a travel pitch that we act on.
An aspirational one. Yeah, I know, because that's I've mostly been pitching places I've been. And you got to
leap into the unknown.
I know. Well, and last year you pitched Portugal, which got us to go to Portugal.
Did that get? Yeah, I did pitch it before. You
saw Sintra.
Yeah, I manifest pitch over here.
Yeah, and I'm lazy and I just fall back on what I already know. Okay. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you next week for episode 3 of Agents of Travel. Bye.